Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome to the discussion for Dog Park, which was a game that basically, as I saw it, I was like, that seems like something that might be up my alley, because it's basically Wingspan, but with dogs.
Yeah, dogs.
I mean, it plays a little bit different. It's not just card drafting. There's a little bit more going on. But I think this game's great. I really, really enjoyed it.
I finally showed him one that he likes.
I know usually all the games on his top 100 are ones I showed him.
I came down here and I said, what game are we playing? And Brad, pulls it up. And I was like, that's going to be a good thing.
I figured you would like this one because you like Wingspan
a
lot, and you hate birds. So
listen, I'm gaining a respect for
some.
But I love all dogs.
That's not true. We razzed a few of them.
I don't think I did.
No, I think this game's great. I think it differentiated itself enough from Wingspan. Really, the only thing that's really kind of anything like it is every dog in here is different,
right.
and the facts about them.
Well, and this one actually, in my opinion, is lighter than Wingspan.
I would go so far to say that as well.
Because there's so much combo stuff you have to keep track of and everything with that.
Yeah.
Stacking cards, nesting cards, all that different stuff. This is pretty much straightforward. You're going to get 2 dogs every turn. You have to make sure you have resources for it.
Yeah.
That's really it.
That's pretty much it. I mean, there's the bidding aspect of, in Wingspan, it's just kind of I'm just going to take that card. This one is kind of does that 5 tribes thing, where you have to give up points to try and really get a dog, and I like that tension. And it's even more than Wingspan than putting a shit ton of nasty-ass cardboard coins and going, huh! Because this one, there were a lot of times where I'm like, I really want that dog. How much do they want that dog? Because I was mainly going for those to finish this, and I was like, and luckily it says where victory is shared still count towards this objective, and I'm like,
friendly.
I'm like, okay, I'm pretty good on gun dogs. Brad has 2. Okay, now I have 3. Now he has 3. He's probably not going to get 4. And then this utility dog, the only utility dog came out, and I had so many points, and you had 3, and I'm like, Cat probably isn't going for it. So I was like, haha, no matter what, I'm going to get it. And I like that element. Cat, what do you think?
I think this is fantastic.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How come?
Well, it is like Wingspan, but also it's obviously just the dog version. It is easy to learn. It's easy to play. I think the only time I ever felt stuck was when I was choosing what resource to get.
Yeah. I like that changes too.
But I would say that is nice. But I would say that's probably the hardest part is just making sure that you have your resources set out so you can take your dogs on a walk. So play level is where it should be for me. I think when I think of a game that should just be fun, this would be it. But also still a little competitive.
Right.
Because I'm not always in a competitive mood.
It's not a mean game, though.
Right.
Even though it's competitive.
Exactly.
I pulled one sneaky trick, but that was to be funny more than anything. So
yeah, that's kind of the meanest action is swapping dogs, because you can be like,
and the
I know you want a terrier, haha, I'm gonna swap that. It's like, okay, that's kind of annoying.
But I did it in real life because I just know Seth wants a corgi, and I was like, well, I'm taking it. I like it. I just like it. The art is there. I love all the depictions.
This art is great.
The facts, the dog facts. I'm a big fact person. I think that's fun. So yeah, I feel like I'm saying too little, but I feel like not a lot needs to be said. I like it.
Yeah, these games is in the perfect blend of filler, but with some thought. I didn't feel like I was going through the motions because I cared about each round. I'm okay, what dogs are out. And that's what I want, so therefore that's going to dictate how I'm going to walk. And if it's because there were times where I think there was one of my abilities, I got a point for each dog treat or something, and you and Brad both kept you move forward and land on a dog treat. I'm like, okay, I'm going last, I'll wait till they moved. So then Brad moves off it, then you land on. I'm like, never mind.
Yeah.
I'm not getting any points from that. I think the only negative I really have is, and it's not really that big of a deal, but I do think turn order is kind of really important in this game. I felt like if you're going last, you're kind of getting dicked the entire game, because it's yeah, you get to see where everyone's going, but still you lose out on priority. If you're I really want that pastoral to compete. Kat went before me. She had a lot of reputation. How much does she want it? I can try and outbid, but
not everybody gets that though. It's not. That's the thing with this. It's like it's going around. It's not like there's a spot. Say, hey, I'm gonna a first order spot.
Well,
like worker placement games a lot of the times.
I would agree with you, except in a 3-player game, I got to be first twice, and you guys didn't, because it's a 4-round game.
Yeah, but I never. Oh, yeah. I mean, so like that to me is also just that is gambling at its finest. You don't know if you are going to be the winner, no matter how much you put in. Most of the time, but that's just the thing about betting on if you're gonna go first or not. Like you kind of psych yourself out too, because you're like, oh, they're gonna pick that dog, and then they don't. Like I didn't think you were going back for the Chinese crested. So
I liked its ability.
I was like, no,
the dog was ratchet as fuck, but I'm like, the ability's pretty good. Should have went for the corgi apparently.
Why not both?
Oh, get the corgi and do 10 points. I was like. The cat's like, I got 15, and we're like, prove it. Never mind, I got 21.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
So what's interesting though is like, you know, there in this game, 3-player game, we saw 27 cards.
Yeah.
Of all those cards.
Here's your stack.
Yeah.
Right. Here's the rest of them.
So because everybody's going to get 8 cards.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be 3 out there. And 3-player.
And there's expansions.
Yeah. Right. There's expansions.
Like what were they? Show
it's
dogs.
Like famous dogs. So it's like. There's like famous dogs, and
there's Old Yeller and
I don't know
Snoopy,
exactly. Old Drum.
But there's different ones. Like there's just different.
Every
little card
dog.
packs.
What was that dog that it wasn't Pixar or Disney, but it was about the husky? Balto's in it. It's all
Cujo.
Like
a Stephen King dog blood all over
my
it.
favorite child's movie. We got the Pet Cemetery lineup.
Yeah.
Church
That's the one about cats.
Bad.
You're sitting there and it's like, if you gain Cujo, eliminate another player.
Player elimination.
Yeah, and I know they're coming out. I think one of the expansions that's going on Kickstarter is like new locations or something, like new parks.
Probably. Well, these are location bonuses. It sets up differently, but yeah, I don't know how they would.
And I enjoy that. I enjoy the fact that it's not the same like path that you go on every time.
And then like in a 4-player game, you would have. This just wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty much what it is.
More
and there's another. They put more resources out there. So instead of this, there's another thing that could be out there.
How many forecast cards are there?
There is.
Look, there's only 4.
No. There's a handful. There is actually a pretty good number. I mean, there's more of these.
Okay.
You know, so I mean.
Yeah, decent amount.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I always like those kind of different rules that change each round or end game scoring. Like, it just so happened the very last one was about toy dogs, and I'm like,
we're just like, well, hang on a second.
All right.
Yeah, it definitely showed that you need to look at all these before the game starts, because I wasn't paying any attention to it at all.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that was just stupid on my part.
During home time, dogs without leashes do not lose one.
Right, so there's different stuff, and I bet there'll be more of these cards in the Kickstarter.
Yeah,
more
probably, obviously more dogs that change
more
the breeds.
Objectives, hopefully.
Yes, yeah, that was the other thing.
There isn't much. At the experienced, there's 4 experience objectives.
Okay,
and there's like 6 of the other ones.
Gotcha. Yeah, so because yours.
So
yeah, during final scoring gate 7 points if you have leashes on at least 7 different dogs. You would have gotten that one too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you would have had exactly 7. Well walked. Yeah, there definitely needs to be more expansions. It needs to be more objectives. I like the fact that there's an experience and a standard. Like,
actually, I guess there's 5 of each.
Okay.
So never mind.
So you could play it where you don't even give someone. You don't even play with experienced ones. Like if you're just really teaching someone a new game that's not used to it.
And then there's solo objectives, legendary. There's a solo play.
Neat
stuff too that does stuff. I mean, so I haven't obviously.
But I mean, I'm always a fan of objectives, like personal objectives that are different scoring, because this kind of falls into that 10-penny parks where it's like I feel like mine was harder. Like mine might have been harder than cats, for example. Sure. She chose it. Have dogs with 7 leashes. It's like, well, I had to win 4 of these.
I would argue that mine was more difficult in-game scoring wise, because I had to walk multiple times, so that's why I had a bunch that I couldn't walk.
So you lost a lot of points.
So I was losing points because I had to put 3 of them with 2 leashes on by the end. So, I mean, I was...
And it was just kind of like, if everyone does it, then it's like, okay, so the score stays the same.
Right.
Versus, maybe yours is like 10 points, or ways to accommodate that. So, that's just my personal thing. I feel like personal objectives should be different.
Well, and this is the first game by these people. and everything. So I'm assuming they probably are going to have some
Good for them.
retrospect. You know, like they'll
Yeah, with the new
learn some
the
stuff
Kickstarter coming up, they'll probably include something. Are you just looking through the
These
dogs?
are the piles I don't want, and these are the piles I do want.
Okay. So when I get this game, she's going to look through and be like, anyway, so here's all the cards that we're not playing with. That's like all
No,
of
this
them.
is like my to get dog list.
Yeah.
Well, and that's another thing with this. Like this version of the game is the retail version.
Yeah.
It still has the game trays. It has the screen printed meeples.
That's really good.
And it was I
really
didn't spend a ton for it either.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
and
that's what I
everything, so-
love. That's what I love too, because Seth was like, "Oh well, it's gonna get or it's gonna go back on Kickstarter," and I was like, "Yeah, but for how much?" Because like I know how it can go
It was
sometimes.
like $50.
It wasn't
like,
bad.
for
Honestly,
everything.
anything around that, anything under 100, and I'm always just like, "That's not bad at all."
Yeah.
I may be wrong, but I think it's a British company.
The Birdwood
I think
Games.
it's from
Okay.
Britain. And
Yeah, I know their turnaround was really
yeah,
quick.
Yeah. So
Turnaround was quick. They're going back for expansions. The expansions are available because a lot of the companies now don't do retail releases. It's like, oh, sorry about you. If a retailer didn't do a retailer pledge, they're not distributing it out, and this game did.
right.
So, yeah, I mean, first game, obviously they took inspiration from another really popular game, but it wasn't just like the same exact game with dogs.
Yeah, they clearly didn't blatantly rip it off.
Right.
I guess you could argue, but no, not even.
It's like even then, it's like some people just don't like birds, but they love dogs, and so
True.
they get a relatively similar set
Yeah.
collection game.
You know what I'm not going to read in this game? I'm not going to read that one dog takes its dog prey and impales it
On barbed
on
wire?
barbed wire. I'm not going to read that. Like,
Yeah, you're just gonna learn that this unpronounceable dog named the Zolotl is known as the Mexican hairless. They have long been thought to have curative powers and are known as a healing dog.
yeah. Racist people call it a chupacabra dog.
And I got a Tibetan Mastiff, so I think I'm the real winner here.
The bull terrier, otherwise known as a staffy, commonly misknown as a pit bull.
If you could have any dog that you got, what would you take?
hands down, it's the Chinese crested. No.
During the apocalypse, because it has some meat on it, you can
Well,
put it on
and
the
I think
spit
just
roast.
honestly, I think during the apocalypse, I could just like hold it up and be like, "Don't come near us, we have scabies." Like,
Well, mine would be the one I have.
Yeah, the husky.
husky.
Yeah,
I'm taking the
Or the Rottweiler.
the
Those are
Russian
number two.
black terrier.
that's the one you're going with.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going with the
I think
Tibetan
they're
Mastiff,
beautiful.
and
I have
then
a
probably
Soft spot for terriers.
I really do like retrievers, but the Slovakian rough-haired pointer is cute too.
Are we picking our B team?
He picked two. He picked the.
I was just saying, I'm Siberian because that's what I have.
I
Yeah,
think as a
but
pair,
a Rottweiler would have been my second.
beautiful. I think as a pair, so the Russian black is also getting paired up with his best friend, the Papillon.
the papillon.
I think a Papillon is just so pretty.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So they got a lot. I do love the breed experts, how that just changes, and it tells you the percentage of what's in there. So if you're like, if the toy goes up to 8 points, you know there's only 11%. Funny enough, the utility had 14%. We only saw one.
Yeah, because of shitty shuffling.
But I like that because Wingspan has that too. Whenever you,
yeah, yeah,
hey,
right.
we each shoveled half the decks. But I like that because whenever you're picking like secret objectives in Wingspan, it tells you the percentage of dogs or of birds in that. And you're like, But those have different scoring points, and it's like, that one's gonna be a little rough, but I'm gonna try it. So it had a lot of balance, a lot of ways to kind of mitigate. You could have scouted a lot more to start searching for certain dogs. It's there. Yeah,
I'm excited to see what they do with it.
I am
This
too.
next stuff to see
Yes.
what they add.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to look up, but I'm definitely gonna snag myself a copy of this because
Absolutely.
it's adorable. I really had a good time with it.
Yeah. Very much enjoy.
Did you guys have any negatives at all?
Yeah, probably the Chinese crested. No, I have no negatives.
And like I said, my big one on the turn order, I feel like that could annoy some people. It's like
and I would say I have no negatives in the way that somebody who likes board games as much as me can have no negatives, because I didn't feel very impeded by the last turn, or like I forget about my objectives anyway, so like I like this game.
One of the skill things that I think helps with that is what I started doing late game, as I was just betting one
oh yeah,
all the time. because I was utilizing the exchange.
Yeah.
Because that's an important power, because like I got my second hound, which put me up there. I switched for my working dog, which got me 4 more points. So it's like you can use that as a very powerful thing.
Yeah.
To
and maybe that's why the mitigation is there in case for turn order. It's like, okay, I'm gonna get first dibs. I'm gonna get to go out, and it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go swap because I really didn't want this terrier, but now there's a you got the you took the Rottweiler and snubbed me out of my working dog.
And knowing that what that does, like you could really take advantage of that, because with me only having 4, like if I would have went there, I could have swapped and put a leash on the one I swapped and saved me a point.
That's true.
I mean, so there's some stuff to it.
There is.
I would say the blandest part of the game is the objectives. But it's not really. It's just they just need more. I mean,
they need more, and
I
think variable points.
Yeah,
is just nice.
But for a first-time designer, for what they put out and the excellent quality of everything and how it looks and the art and everything, I'd say it's top-notch.
Yeah, I completely agree. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you guys give in Dog Park?
Man, I'm giving this a big fat 10.
Big fat 3.
Big fat flying 2.5.
There were a lot of ugly fucking dogs, so I really had a bad time.
I don't know, but this pile's getting pretty big in my don'ts. So,
Brad?
I'm stuck on this number today. We've done multiple reviews and stuff, but I'm going to go 8.5.
8.5?
Yes.
I think, funny enough, every time you've given something 8.5, I've gone slightly lower. I am at an 8. Yeah. I think with expansions, again, it can go up to a 9. This game is a game that I would... This is kind of like Wingspan is like a base 8, but it goes up because of the expansions. Just more variety, more objectives, more kind of just more a little bit more meat. I feel like playing this game, I wouldn't want to play base a lot.
Right.
It's like, okay, yeah, I've seen that animal before.
Well, the thing is, the original base was said not to use these.
Really, the forecast?
It was saying like for your first game, don't play with those. But I was like, we're experienced enough. We played with them. So
and they're super basic.
Yeah, I know. That's why.
I won because of it. So they're essential. No, yeah. So just and they're there. The expansions I know are there and they're coming. So first time designer, they're off to a great start. This is definitely either the publisher or the designers, Lottie and Jack Hazel. They're ones to keep an eye out for.
Yep.
Which is great. So. Great game.
Yes.
Loved it. Animals are cute, and I love dogs. So, well, that's it, everyone. That's our thoughts on Dog Park. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.